Good morning, everybody. This is Larry with Raceday, and I'm here in cloudy and very cold Minnesota for the Thanksgiving holiday. And so I thought I'd take some time here and make a demo video that a lot of you have asked for. And this is a demo on how to do race setup in Raceday, which actually has several features all rolled up into one process. But it's the race setup, the running order, the registration screen, and the pit boards and other reports in Raceday that'll help you run your event a lot faster and smoother. So this demo is set up specifically for our snowmobile group since we're heading into the snowmobile season, and it looks like it's going to be a wonderful one. So if you're running a kart group or a motorcycle group or a car group, this is going to look a little foreign to you, but don't worry, we'll make a separate demo for you or video at a later date. So if this is the first time that you've used the race setup system, and I know there's some of you that aren't using it, there are a lot of you who are using it, and you're using it very, very well. It's fun to watch. And this is for the people who haven't quite gotten in there yet, or all of our new groups that signed up this fall. Welcome, welcome. If this is the first time in, you're going to want to try and get in here a little early and just play with this, what I'm about to show you, and get a feel for it. You can't hurt anything, so you can go into these screens and do whatever you want. And just get a little familiar with it so that on the actual day of the race, you're not feeling quite so panicky about having to learn something or do something that's different and new when you got people breathing down your throat. So the great thing is that once you get familiar with this thing, I promise you will be able to cruise through setting up your whole event in a matter of just minutes, and you'll be like, why did I ever do it any other way? Okay, so for this demo, we're going to assume a one-day event where you will run a round of heat races in the morning, then a series of finals later in the day. We'll set up randomly assigned heats as well as manually assigned heats so you can decide who races who. We'll then set up our running order for the first round of heats, print, and begin setting up our finals. Shall we begin? Okay. Overall, this is a three-step process that involves one extra little dongle. You're going to do the race setup, you're going to do the running order, and then you're going to do the reports. But prior to that, I want to review a very important screen that I'm sure you're all using. If not, you should be, that you can use prior to doing any of this. So, assuming this was, say, the day of the race, like it's, we're going to run this race on a Sunday, and let's say it's, your driver's meeting is going to be at 9, so you've told everybody at 7:30, there's just no more changes. We're done. That's it for the day. So now you're locked away in your registration trailer with your heater on your feet, and you're working on this screen right here. The first thing you want to do is make sure that registration is closed. If it's open, it will look one way. If it's closed, it'll look another. Obviously, just hit the giant monkey button there to close it. And then we're going to go into the registration screen because I just want to make sure that you're familiar with this. In the registration screen is everybody who's signed up for this event, what class they're in, and what they are driving. So you can see some of these people have a line through them. Those are people who have been scratched for the day's events. So whatever class they're in, they're scratched. Now you can unscratch somebody by clicking on them and hit reinstate their registration. So if they change their name or mind or whatever, they got their machine fixed, you can put them back in. Also in here, it's very important that you can change the number they've got on that sled. If for whatever reason they changed it last minute or they had to do something, you can put whatever you need to in this field, and then that's what will print out for everybody so that they know what number is on there. So if I save those changes, also I can see every other class that Eddie's involved in. So if I had to, I could go to his other ones and reinstate them and then change his number as well. Save my changes, okay? That's very important. So if you got somebody that's going to scratch for a particular race, you can do that as well. Just click on their name, and down here towards the bottom, we have scratch registration. That will prevent him from showing up in the race setup screens that I'm about to show you so that you don't have to deal with guys who aren't supposed to be there. Okay, so we're going to go into race setup here. First thing we're going to do, and that's going to take a second to open. And what you'll see here is on the left-hand side is every race that we've set up for the day. You'll also see how many people are registered for that. So one thing that you'll need to know before you do this is how many guys can you safely send out on the racetrack at one time. Most places it's 10, sometimes it's 12. If it's a small racetrack with big walls, maybe you only want to send 5 out at a time, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up these champ guys are going to go out just a little bit different than the rest of the classes because they run rounds, eliminating rounds, and then last chance qualifiers, and then their finals, as to where the rest of the classes are just going to run some heats, and then they're just going to run some finals. So let's go to Champ 440 first. You'll see it opens up here and says we're in round 1. And that's exactly what we want now. We're going to run 2 heats. So we're going to split that in half and have 8 guys go out at a time. So randomly, we're just going to go ahead and put 8. And boom, I have now created those heats. Now, because 8 and 8 is only 16, not 19, it put 3 of these guys here. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete them by just hitting X, and that takes them out. Go back. Then we're actually going to delete this heat. Just because if you don't delete that heat, it will show up in your printed reports as a blank heat, and you don't want that. So we're going to go in here and we're going to add 2 of these guys to the first one. Doesn't really matter where you throw them in down here. And then we're going to go into this one, and we'll add this guy into that one. Now we have all of our drivers registered for round 1. And assuming that they're going to do 2 rounds during the day, we're going to go ahead and add a round. You have to scroll down to see that, and it automatically labels it round 2. And now we're going to randomize that. Instead of putting 8 in each with our bad math, we're going to put in, we'll do 10 of each. So it did 1 of 10, 1 with 9. So that's the quickest way to do that. And if you need to remove, say, Axl Rose can't race with Gene Simmons because you might accidentally disqualify one of those guys, and you don't want to do that, again, you can just run into the screen, and we'll take Gene Simmons out. And we'll go back here, and then we'll go into heat number 2 on round 2, and we'll add Gene Simmons back into that one. Okay? There, I've set up round 1 and round 2 for Champ 440 on the Sunday version. On the Saturday version, same thing. Got 22 guys. We're going to do, let's do 4. Well, let's see. Let's do 5. Let's do 6. All right. So that's going to create 4 heats in a round, mostly with 6 guys, but this one's only going to have 4. That looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and do round 2. Again, it shows up on the bottom. You have to scroll down to get to it. Then we'll do another 6 there. And we're done. So we've just set up all those races for the day. And again, if you want to get more granular and picky with it, you can pull certain guys out and put certain guys in. Now, the other type of race we're going to do, and like say IFS X250, is that we're just going to run 2 heats. So we're going to do 2 heats of 5. And I'm done. Now, if you want, you can relabel this heats. Makes it a little easier for the drivers when they see the sheets. Same thing with this one. We're going to randomly put all 5 people in. And I'm going to relabel this heats. This one's going to wind up having 2, so we're going to put 5 guys in each heat. Make it a little bit more exciting. However, we wound up with a straggler here, so I'm going to jump in there and get him out of there. And we'll put him over here. And he's now racing himself. Okay, so now we've already set up, the biggest portion of our day, actually. And it's taken us, what, 2 minutes? All right, so this open round, we're going to put all 6 of these guys in here. And I'm going to actually go through this whole thing for you. Show you the whole race. Supermod 250, I think we can just throw all 7 of those guys out there. Now, I'm just labeling them heats here because I think it looks better. You don't have to do that. That is totally up to you. because you are in control. Okay, Supermod 440. We're going to do all 6 of those guys. Supermod 650. Same thing. We're just going to do all 3. Label that the heat. Okay, then we're down to just our super stock and stock drivers. Super stock, let's split that up. Let's do 4 in each. That should give us one of 4 and one of 3. See, my math is getting better as I go on here this morning. I have my coffee. Super stock 250. We're going to do. We'll throw all 3 of those guys in there. Oops, not S, 3. Heats for that one. We'll label that heats. And that is it, folks. I have set up every single one of those classes, and essentially I'm done. So literally I did that in what, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. Okay, so we're going to go back to the race now, and we're going to move on to step 2, which is the running order. What you've done now is you've just set up those heats. You haven't decided what order they're going to go out on the track. So let's go into running order, which is over here. And you'll see now that all those classes are just sitting there kind of randomly. Get rid of those, get rid of that. Then show you what you'll do is just drag this thing over from the right-hand side up, put it up there, and we'll rename it. Drivers meeting. 9:00 a.m. And okay, because we want to get the crowd fired up right away, we're going to send out our first round of champ races. So we're going to do the Sunday guys round 1 first, and then we're going to do the Saturday guys round. So you just drag and drop them right up there in the order that you want them. So now I've got Sunday round 1, heat 1 and heat 2, Saturday round 1, heat 1 and heat 2. I'm going to leave the second round until after we have plowed the track after running a whole bunch of races. So see, I got round 1. Okay, I got 3 and 4 here I got to do. So I got to move 3 and 4 up here. So you see that I got round 1, heat 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So then after all those champ sleds race, I am going to put, let's put these in order. The champ round 2, heat 1, heat 2, round 2. So those are already all in order. We're just going to put a bunch of races and a plow break in between. So let's grab from the bottom. Let's grab Super Stock Heat 1, and we're going to drag that up. Now, if you get near the top of your screen, just kind of wiggle that mouse, and it'll go up where you want it to. So there's Super Stock 440 Heat 1, Super Stock 440 Heat 2. All right, so now we got the Super Stocks in between there. Let's put the Supermod 250 guys up there. Get a little bit faster. Then let's bump way up and get the Supermod open guys, because those are fast sleds. And we like fast, right? So I'm going to put I'll put the Super Stock 250 guys up there. Okay. Now I'm going to throw in a plow brake. Okay, so we have a nice round of some good racing, and then we got a plow break, and then we're going to bring the champ guys out for their next round. And then we're going to do Supermod 340 after the champ guys. Supermod, well, we don't want to put those back to back because you probably got guys running the same thing. So we'll go ahead and let the IFS 250 go out. And then we'll do Super Stock 250. And then we'll do Supermod 650. And Supermod 440. Super Stock 340, and then our IFS 340 and 440 heats. So there you have it. That's the order everything is going to be run for today. So we're going to hit Update Running Order. And you do have to hit Save on that to make sure that your changes stay. You'll notice that when you make a change, it turns yellow and then stays that way until you save it. So if you see yellow on that screen, make sure you hit Save before you leave that screen. Okay, and that's really it. You've really just set up the whole day's running of your race. So you can see that this is just ridiculously fast and easy. So your last step, and this is the one that actually is the only one that takes time, but it doesn't involve you having to do a whole lot. We're going to print out 2 sheets. You're going to rebuild them first. The first one is the running order. And this is a PDF file. And I'm just going to drag this over. We're just going to open that so you can see what that looks like. Now this is just 3 sheets with all the races. Actually, it's 4, 5, 6, 7 sheets with the day's entire races on it. This way you can print it out and give it to your pit boss, and then he's got a running list of everybody who's supposed to be there that he can keep with him at all times. Then the pit boards, we're going to rebuild those. These are going to be big giant printouts that you can leave next to staging so that everybody can see where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. And this puts them into a nice, lovely order. So race 1, round 1, heat 1 is your first race of the day. Then your second race, round 1, heat 2, race number 3, so on and so forth. It puts everybody on their own sheet, tells you the name, driver number, what machine they're supposed to be on. Lane and position, ignore. You can use that if you want. Most people choose not to, just because that's more geared towards the lane and position that stock cars would go into. So if you want to use that for lining them up, you certainly can in the inside of the pits. So that's it. You print that baby out, and that's going to be the thing that takes the longest. It just depends upon how long your printer is going to take and how long it's going to run, and you'll be done. All right. So now let's assume you got that all printed out and your races started to run. Drivers meeting went well. Nobody got hurt. Everything is good. Life is wonderful. And now you've got to get set up for the finals. So you're going to go back into race setup, and you're going to start with, of course, the first guys who ran. And what we're going to do is just delete right off the bat those first rounds. And we're going to delete these heats. All right, and then we're going to name this our LCQ. Last chance qualifier. Okay? So now, based on the race results, you're going to go in and grab the 3 guys who qualified, however your association does it, to be in that last chance qualifier. One of these guys will move to the final. Now, you can't set up the final for sure till you know who that is, but what you can do is go ahead and add a round, and we'll call it final. And we can run in here and put in our top 9, 10 guys, because the other guys are going to have to make the back row. So we'll put them all in here till we get 10 guys that all qualified. Nine and 10. Okay. And now we just wait. As soon as we hear back from whoever made that last one, we'll put them in. And then we'll print. Okay. So that one's pretty much done though, except for that one little change. And basically we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to delete the earlier races that were already run. Delete these extra heats. It's asking you to do that every time just to make sure you don't accidentally biff one and delete it when you didn't really mean to. Okay, same thing here. We're going to give these guys an LCQ. And we'll go in and add Brett Michaels and Gene Simmons and David Lee Roth to that one. Okay, then we're going to add a round. And our round is going to become our final. Same thing here. We're just going to add in everybody who already qualified for the final until we get 10 drivers. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so there's our finals. So other than adding the winner out of this one before we print, these are good to go. Now in this one, because you just had the 10 drivers and they're not doing rounds, we're just going to change this to final. And we're going to put all 10 drivers in. And we're done. Same thing with this. Just going to change them all to final. If somebody was disqualified or they lost their sled or whatever and weren't going to be in there, you could hear back from them and make sure you get that person taken out, but you'll take them out on the registration screen, or just don't put them in the final here too. That'll work as well. Delete. So again, just this little process of going through and getting rid of stuff that's not going to run anymore today. We're going to put in all 11 guys. Same thing here. Six guys. Put them in. Oops, not 46, 6. Same thing. And again, I'm just I'm looking over here all the time to see how many registrants are in the class. You always got that list there. It's kind of handy to know how big it is, so you can make some decisions before you even jump in there. Isn't that neat? Don't even have to delete. You can just overdo it. Huh? Learn something new every day. So, oops. Final. Okay. Final. This is going to be a final. Okay, and a final. Wow, I just got rid of that whole step of deleting stuff by playing with this. Nice. Nice. Okay, so that's done. Put all 4 of those guys in there and randomize that. And final. And we'll put all 8 guys in that one. And there you have it. You are done. You have set up all the finals. Again, I think that was less than 5 minutes. So we're going to go back to the race now. We do have to reset up our running order because it will have changed now that you changed all these. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. We'll just start with the plow brake. Yeah, we got some finals to run, and we want to save our champ guys for later. So we're going to do, well, let's go ahead and put that super stock, junior super stock, and the other super stock. Let's just go in order here by basically motor size. So we'll go with the Supermod 250 final. We're going to have to skip up and do an IFS class because you got a lot of people driving in Supermod 250 who might be on the IFS X340 as well. And you don't want to make them get off the sled and get right back on another one. So give them a race in between if you can. Sometimes that's hard to control, but let's see. You'll notice it does say Heat 1 on the final there. That's just a little idiosyncrasy. So just focus on the word that says final there. So we're going to put Supermod 440 up there. Supermod 650, and then our Supermod open final. And then we're going to have that. Oh, actually, we're going to move the champ last chance qualifiers up. Let's put them up 1 and 2. So those run first. And then we'll have our 2 finals at the end of the day. Update the running order. Go back to your reports. Rebuild that one. Rebuild that one. Let them run. So take a look at this now. So now we got our last chance qualifier, next last chance qualifier, then our super stock final. So those are all in order and looking good. Download this pit board. And you can see we have our race number 1, which is the LCQ. And it does say Heat 1 here, but worst case, maybe just scratch that out with a pencil. Something we're working on. We'll get that fixed so it doesn't do that. And that's really it. You have set up and done your whole race. Now, the only difference here is if this event is a 2-day event. And the only thing I'll have to point out there is if we just add a day here, say it's going to be a 2-day race now, when you go into race setup, you're going to see both days in there. See Monday and Sunday, all right? You're going to want to stick with doing 1 day at a time, even though they're both here, because if you start setting up stuff for the second day, it will print out in the first day, and you'll wind up just printing a lot of stuff you don't need. So just do what we just did here in the demo, and just do 1 day at a time. Like I said, it goes so quick that the thing that takes the time is the printing, and that really depends upon if you've got a good printer or kind of a putsy printer, but that actually takes more time than doing the actual setup. So I hope this was useful for you. Let me know, Larry at getraceday.com. If there's something you think I missed, I'd be happy to hear that. And hopefully this will get you through so you can get started in there and see that this is going to make your life so much easier when you're running your race. Thank you so much, everybody. Love you. Appreciate you. Have a great day.